Fire renders widow homeless. Critical education matters dominate 2014 Inoye Toro Foundation Teachers Award. Christians converge in worship centers to thank God for seeing them through the fourth Sunday in November 2014. And correspondents examine soccer playing people in today's society. Stay on for details. Good morning. Disasters are inevitable, but they come unannounced, and so it was in Dono, a Chinan local government area, as the house widow Mrs. Jessie Edith Thompson was gutted by fire. The inferno, which happened last week, destroyed property worth millions of naira, including electronics, household items, clothing, credentials, and lots of other valuables. The cause of the fire, according to Mrs. Jessie Thompson, was an upsurge in electricity voltage, which has rendered the widow homeless. Narrating her ordeal, Mrs. Jessie Thompson said everything she has ever worked for and what her husband left for her is gone. She appealed for assistance from public spirited individuals and organizations for succor. The widow also pleaded with the state government to support her to get another accommodation since she has nowhere to go.
Mình phải làm cái này nên nhà nhà đi cái con rồi cho cả bao cái mình chọn xong nghĩ mấy cũng muốn chọn cũng nghĩ mấy cũng mình phải cái gì đó cái đàn điểm chọn cho họ có để đấy cái cao tìm nhiều cái nó bộ mà mình đi vừa gắn được phương nè cái gì này cái mà mình cái căng này mình đi bỏng bút thì sẽ quăng hết cái cặp ở đi mấy đấy. Có mình bỏ giảm bởi xin ông ngoại rồi, cũng phải mình cái để bê bạc cái như vậy giảm bởi.
The son of the widow, who said he was not around when the incident happened, also appealed for urgent support.
Iki mmemme fire service or over 10 years around, FTC.
One unique feature of this year's Inoye Toro Foundation Teachers Award for Excellence in Akwa Ibom State Public Secondary Schools was a panel discussion on the state of education in Nigeria. The panel discussion was moderated by the chairman, Top Faith International Secondary Schools Board, Dr. Emmanuel Abraham. Udwak Ekong tells us more.
For 7 years now, the Inoye Toro Foundation, through its annual Teachers Award for Excellence, has striven to identify excellent teachers for recognitions, hoping such awards would restore the integrity and glory of teachers, motivating them towards more diligence in producing better students and better scores in examinations. To chart a way forward for the education sector and generate ideas towards restoring its lost glory, the Inoye Toro Foundation brought together professionals to discuss the state of education in Nigeria.
My panel of discussants are going to look into some of these issues that challenge the status quo, some of the issues that plague the educational system, and see what is the way forward.
The State Commissioner for Education, Professor Atmantai, who was one of the discussants on the panel, commended the Inoye Toro Foundation for motivating teachers in Akwa Ibom State public secondary schools to do better. Describing education as the #1 priority of the Akwa Ibom State government, Professor Antai said the school curriculum had been changed with ICT as a necessary tool for learning and communication.
Education is #1 priority in Akwa Ibom State, and that is reflected in the free and compulsory education from primary to secondary levels I want to say this, that government, especially the government of Akwa Ibom State, has invested and is investing in education. Teacher education is of paramount interest to the government. That is why there are quality assurance programs for training and retraining of teachers.
A former president of the Association of Telecommunications Company of Nigeria, ATCON, Dr. Emmanuel Ekuwem, spoke on the state of education in Nigeria, while the executive consultant, Mobile Pegasus Schools, ECET, Mrs. Lakshmi Tombush, spoke on the training of teachers and teacher education.
You don't need to have a PhD to be PhD. And what did it mean? Prayers, hard work, and discipline. And what are we today? Decay. How do you narrow the gap between where you should and where you are? For our educational system to be where we want it to be, where it should be, teachers must be inspired, must be motivational, must have self-confidence, must feel secure, must be economically empowered.
When they are not trained, when they are not exposed to all the gadgets like we were talking about, the internet and all that, you can't expect them to teach the children, So basically, teachers' training is very, very important, and in Nigeria it's really, really looked down at.
Thank you.
An education consultant, Mrs. Lebari Ukpong, suggested an improvement in the Nigerian educational curriculum and reduction of student population in classrooms, while Barrister Nyeka Nokpana spoke on the need to improve the quality of education in Nigeria and improve Nigeria's ranking in the world.
I speak to students here and I do not see any passion in their eyes because they have not been inspired by their teachers. Teachers can only give what they have.
We all need to be very concerned about education. Because in my view, without a proper education, I don't know the kind of country or nation that we intend to have.
Guest speaker at the awards ceremony and Chief Executive Officer, MTN Nigeria Communications Limited, Mr. Michael Ikpoki, urged teachers and schools as catalysts who have lead roles to play in the molding of students into people of values, ethical standards and integrity to improve their school curriculum and teaching skills so that potentials in the society can be unlocked.
And we've talked about the issue of integrity. How do we start modeling some of the kind of behaviors we would like to see? And how do we sacrifice our time, our efforts and resources to be able to do that? So that way, each and every one of us can create that small oasis of sanity. And over time, we can grow that into a lake and an ocean. And we can come back to say, yes, indeed, by the time we are going home, we'll say we've done our part.
The 7th edition of the Awards for Teachers was preceded by a mentoring clinic for students of 37 public secondary schools spread across Akwa Ibom State, after which the students, their award-winning teachers and other guests received inspiring words from the chairperson of the awards ceremony and former principal of Access Schools Calabar, Mrs. Margaret Annette Ita. Udwakekong reporting.
What is the responsibility of man on earth than to serve and worship God? When man serves God, he stands to be blessed, multiplied, elevated, and live a glorious life. The benefits of service to God come in different packages, which informs Christians gathering mostly on Sundays in different congregations to worship. AKBC News yesterday visited some churches in the metropolis to catch the mood of worshippers. The story is here presented.
Listen to Pastor Daniel Jimmy admonish to love of God. Pastor Jimmy such the enjoined could him from making heaven, but continue to work out the salvation. The cleric advised the church to stop Nigeria and the church and that hymns to glorify God. recently at the Salem African Church in Sukara Fort, where classic tunes were rendered. In his exhortation, Venerable Israel Benson, who drew his text from Jeremiah 5 verse 4, called on the faithful to make worthy, noting that those who serve God diligently will never fail. Venerable Benson congregation to look up to God in and always pray.
In every battle of life you are going through, you will continue to live with the name of Jesus. By destiny and by God's divine arrangement, God has already arranged in your life before you were born.
At the evangelist Ofan Bogobot said God will beyond the expectations of children only if they can look unto Him, the author and finisher of their more than enough. Evangelist Obot us to relent not in service and always give to the needy to open their doors of blessing.
The University of Uyo has churned out 164 doctorate degrees, 842 master's degree, and 596 postgraduate diploma students at the 19th and 28th convocation ceremonies. The events took place at the permanent site of the University of Ngwangiba Road, Uyo. Etienne Ibana reports that the convocation also featured conferments of honorary degrees on some individuals within and outside Nigeria. The report is here presented.
Have satisfied the requirements prescribed at the university, having been found worthy in character and learning. Honorary doctorate degrees to the University of Uyo, and they include the State Chief Judge who received honorary and Doctor of Law, the Chairman Guarantee Trust Bank, Mr. Egg, and of Learning Limited, Mr. Christopher Jolly, a British citizen who bagged a degree of Doctor of Letters. The address on the occasion assured Nigeria of government's cooperation with unions, associations, and other stakeholders in to stem the brain drain as well as the quality of the education process, represented by the former Vice Chancellor of Abubakar Tafewa Balewa University, Professor Mohammed Hamizu. Jonathan said his administration was committed to bringing Nigerian universities to globally competitive standard. According to him, no nation can rise above the level of its educational development without globally acknowledged standard.
Of inadequate student accommodations, staff offices, laboratories and facilities, libraries, seminar rooms, lecture theaters, and things like campus coordinator are not unique to the University of Uyo.
Governor Godswill Akpabio, whose address was by his deputy, Lady Valerie Ebe, described university as an institution in the social system designed to be a laboratory for development and progress. Chief Akpabio maintained that in developed countries, institutions of higher learning profess solutions to various problems in changing the society and the society forward through research, development of relevant curricula to meet those challenges. While congratulating the graduating students on their success, the governor impressed great ambassadors of the alma mater.
The government and the good people of Akwa said are passionate about the University of Uyo, not only because it is located within our shores, but also because we have found in this institution a reliable partner in the development and transformation of our state.
The Chancellor of the University of Uyo and Emir of Fika, Alhaji Ibn Muhammadu Idrissa, said the university produced employable as well as employment-generating graduates, charging them to discover and apply the learned during the studentship to be in their endeavors. The Chancellor of the University, Professor Kimsey Okoko, acknowledged the various strides recorded by the institution, noting that the University of Uyo has zero tolerance for corruption in the system. The Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Kamfadekbo, reeled out the achievements made by the institution in the last 3 years to include inaugural and public lectures, hosting of conferences, improved welfare of members of staff and students. Professor Ekbo said in addition to sustaining and improving on the existing structures and vision of the university, her administration has also been able to initiate a number of programs, projects and strategies aimed at elevating the institution to a higher level.
We must, however, acknowledge with deep gratitude the current intervention by the federal government, which, in keeping with agreement with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has provided some support for the federal and some state universities through the Potential Needs Assessment Fund for development in the university.
We'll take a break. More reports shortly.
Has changed. So have the people. The new generation protects nature, knows the value of time, does not want to waste money, cares for quality and technology. This generation strives for a better world. Thanks to this smart generation, Beko is one of Europe's fastest growing brands and one of the biggest 3 brands in Europe today. We are chosen in more than 100 countries. We are proud of our achievements. We are the rising star of this smart generation because Beko is the brand of people who demands the most advanced technology, who protect the nature, who want smart solutions with stylish designs. This generation creates difference by their choices, and their choices can change the world. Beko is the rising choice of smart generation.
Visit Beko Showroom at number 10 Atiku Abubakar Way, opposite Entry Point Hotel, Uyo.
The world.
My challenge to the Akwa Ibom youth today is to rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. Rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. There must be sustainability. So for me as a governor, I'm charging Akwa Ibom children. The future belongs to you. Your fathers have done their bit. Rise up and protect your future. Bring a governor that will bring industrialization. Bring a governor that will bring progress. Bring a governor that will bring development. Not the one that goes on ethnic cleavage. Not the one that goes to bring tribalism. Not the one that gangs up with elders and wants to come through the window. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate our dear President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, for the endorsement given to him by the National Executive Committee of our party as the sole candidate in 2015 presidential election. I want to thank the people of Nigeria for recognizing that leadership comes from God, and God gives it to whom He pleases. So I stand with my dear President so that he will succeed for my children to have Nigeria tomorrow. I thank Nigeria for supporting Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Football refers to a number of sports that involve to varying degrees, including kicking a ball to score a goal. It is again played by 2 teams of 11 players, each on a rectangular 100-yard-long field with goal lines and goalposts. Football also has officials like referees, assistant referees, and coach. Some people play football as professionals to earn a living, while others do so as leisure. This may explain why it is not uncommon to see young and older men play football on open fields such as school grounds, stadium, or any available space, even on roads where there is less vehicular or human movement. The curiosity of Patience John was aroused to find out why people, especially on weekends to play football on open spaces and school grounds.
Although football is a game that is played by both men and women, it is certain that the game of football is dominated by males. A walk to the Union Park along Udoma Avenue with several fields reveals that different football teams meet at different fields for training. Some of the teams include Frame Mind Sportive, the Unique Brothers Football Club, FC Dynamo, among others.
The desire of young people to come out, stay fit, exercise, play football, and live well. We started as a group of friends. We are looking for coach that can give us a good fit.
Some teams meet every Saturday, while others meet twice in a week for training. But why do they engage in football game, become members of football teams other than to make money?
And when you come every morning to jog, it steps down the sugar level in the body, and it copes against those kind of sudden sicknesses. Mostly the health benefits. Financially capable, and start a business.
It was also observed that some of the teams have jerseys and bibs as a uniform to identify them, while others wear any sport wear. Ubon Williams of the Unique Brothers Football Club said that members pay a token of 100 naira every training day for logistics.
But what we do is that we pay 100 naira every month in order to keep the place tidy and to finance some other things, like washing and the bibs that we use here, because we don't have a jersey for now.
At Uyo NX Sports Ground, where the Uyo All-Stars train, the team manager Akbarawa Okonime explained that the team is made up of footballers who have retired from active football but wish to keep fit. He also mentioned the benefits of the group to members.
We train here at the Uyo All-Stars Sports Club. Uyo All-Stars is a club of former players, males, females, and the youths who are interested in joining. That's why we walk out here every Saturday morning in preparation for matches that may be outside here or within our pitch here.
This respondent, Ezekiel Stephen Akman of the Hillside Football Club at Uyo Annex, said his team, which is made up of students and professionals from different fields of endeavor, meet on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and support the club with 15 naira for members' welfare every meeting day.
It's not just training and go, but at least we have something helping one another by lifting the person up, because here we contribute every training we come. Every training we come, we contribute.
How much?
Like 15 naira.
Besides playing football as a way of exercising themselves, do members of these football teams engage in other activities?
In a few months' time, we are planning to visit the motherless babies. We are putting together a package where we will assist the needy. As you can see, we are not. We have respected people in our group. Respectable people in the society. Politicians, managers, and all that. So we are putting together a package where we will go to the motherless babies, visit the needy, and explain what we can do to contribute to society.
Where is the membership of these teams drawn from?
Those who have played active football and can no longer play for like Akwa United or Heroes, they end up joining formations of all stars, and they are
students and working. We have doctors, we have patrons here.
It was fascinating to know that children were not left out, as this primary 2 pupil of Amazing Grace Children's School, Happiness Joseph Asukwo, was seen skating. According to her, she was trained by her brother Xavier, a primary 4 pupil who took 3 days to train her.
Are you still waiting for a medical doctor to prescribe ways on how to exercise yourself? Why not join any of these teams for your weekly training? Precious John reporting.
A group known as Akwa Ibom Forum Initiative has held a one-day prayer summit for a hitch-free election in 2015. The prayer summit, which took place at the secretariat of the group at 42 Ekbobo Street, had as its theme, Jesus the Hope of the Common Man. Iyareno Paul reports.
The scriptures in Joel chapter 3 verse 14 says, "Sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the elders and the inhabitants of the land in the house of the Lord, and cry to the Lord." This may have been the reason Akwa Ibom Fonoma group organized a prayer summit. During the summit, prayers were raised for forgiveness of sins, thanksgiving for progress, and uplift of the state and the country. Other prayer points were for Governor Godswill Akpabio and his election intention, the forthcoming election, for peace in the nation, for protection of President Goodluck Jonathan, for a successful transition in 2015, as well as God's protection for Akwa Ibom Fonoma initiative. There was also praise and worship session, scriptural readings, and thanksgiving. In his exhortation, the officiating minister, Pastor Charles Udo, urged the congregation to remain in love and unity, stressing that love builds a nation. Pastor Udo called on the faithful to always take their burdens to God, as God does not reject prayers from contrite and broken hearts. The cleric charged Christians to ensure that they cast their vote in the 2015 general elections, noting that when the righteous is on the throne, the people rejoice.
Not until
the pioneer leader of Akwa Ibom Fonoma, Ambassador Ukayudemi Emmanuel, said the initiative is a pet project aimed at shaping the attitude of people positively. Ukai Emmanuel lauded President Goodluck Jonathan for the exemplary leadership he has provided, and Governor Godswill Akpabio for transforming the state to an enviable height, praying God to reward them. He listed the duties of the group to include providing uniforms and books to schools to complement the free and compulsory education policy of the state governments, partnering the Federal Receptive Commission and Ministry of Environment, and declared the group's support to Dr. Goodluck Jonathan and Governor Godswill Akpabio in 2015.
With Godswill Akpabio, I want to tell you the primary thing that concerns me. He has made us, if you go to another state and say you are from Akwa Ibom, they will give you a better seat to sit down. We are in support of the leadership from Nigeria, from the state, Akwa Ibom State.
The President General of Akwa Ibom Fonoma, Elder Friday Obeng, called on other groups to pray for Nigeria, saying there is nothing too difficult for God to do. Iyageno Paul reporting.
It was celebrations for Apostle and Deaconess Basi George, where they dedicated their baby Abasek Kemen to God. The family also celebrated the ordination of the father of the baby as an apostle, as well as their marriage blessing. Patience John reports that the event took place at the Shalom Miracle Bible Church. Her report.
Just as Christians trip to churches today to worship God as it is expected of them, worshippers at the Shalom Miracle Bible Church had a unique time in the presence of God. The service featured the ordination of the General Overseer of the Church, Apostle Basi George, solemnization of holy matrimony between Apostle George and wife Regina, and dedication of the baby.
In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Preaching on those who wait upon the Lord shall renew the strength like an eagle, Bishop Okodi Okono reminded Christians to always put their trust in God, who will meet them at the point of their needs. Drawing his text from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 27, Bishop Okono thanked God for fulfilling his promises in the lives of the couple and for giving them the grace to wait upon him.
Don't you know that God is greater than everything? And don't you know that God can do everything for you? And don't you even know that it is only those who wait upon the Lord that will need their strength.
The baby Abasekeme was later dedicated to God.
No weapon formed against you shall prosper. The devil will try everything they will call for the sin. And you will deliver your people.
Administering the marriage oath on Apostle and Deaconess Bassey Judge, Bishop O'Connor charged them to remain husband and wife till death do them part.
What the Lord has joined together, let no man, let nothing separate this marriage.
The marriage ceremony also witnessed exchange of marital rings and presentation of marriage certificates. At a reception, guests from all walks of life, including a former governor, Chief Donald Tebet, were feted, after which the couple cut their wedding cake and fed each other. Earlier, the chairman on the occasion, Pastor Michael Jimmy, appreciated guests for honoring the couple and prayed God's blessings on all. Meanwhile, the celebrators, Apostle and Deaconess Bassey Judge, have appreciated God for what they described as His wonderful manifestation in their lives, especially for blessing them with another baby after about 13 years of waiting upon Him. The church's mass choir and the Lebanon brass band performed during the ceremonies. Patience John reporting.
Watch AKBC 45 News by logging on to akbconline.org. Follow us on Twitter at AKBC45U and on Facebook. Like us on AKBC Channel 45. Before we go, the top stories again. A fire incident at Donutum community in a Chinan local government area has rendered a widow, Mrs. Jessie Edith Thompson, homeless. Major education issues dominated this year's Inoyo Toro Foundation Teachers Excellence Award. Correspondent has examined why every available open space is converted to a soccer pitch nowadays. Thanks for joining us. Good morning.